You famously tweeted that you thought that population collapse was a much bigger risk to humanity than climate change. What do you think states, families, even companies can do to ensure that more of us want to have more children?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's very telling if you look at the birth rates, which are just publicly available. You can look at, say, the birth rate last year for every country. It's available online. And you can look at the trend in birth rates, and it's just very clear that the trend has been strongly downward, and that we've recently hit all-time lows. So you'd think if, during COVID, what else you got to do? You might as well have a kid. But it didn't happen, actually. We had a big drop in birth rate during COVID. We had an increase in divorces, too, since spent a lot of time with their significant other. But I think generally, simply changing people's mind about the goodness of having kids, it's like very important to have kids in order to continue civilization. And I think sometimes it's viewed as, kids are viewed as an imposition on the world. I don't think that's the case at all, or that people sometimes think there are too many people in the world. That's certainly not the case. You can fit all of the humans on Earth on one floor in the city of New York. It would be uncomfortable, but just to give you a sense of the cross-sectional area of Earth that is human is very tiny. It just seems big if you're in a big city. But for the vast majority of the Earth, if you're given a task from a plane of dropping a bowling ball and you have to hit someone, you'd miss. I almost never hit anyone. The point is that you very rarely go over a person in an aircraft. You fly from LA to New York, there are vast areas of land with no one at all. So anyway, I think we want to just generally have it be socially encouraged to have kids. I think certainly companies need to support employees that have kids. I think in terms of government incentives, there should be some, I think, tax breaks for having kids, or make it financially not burdensome to have children. And it's always worth bearing in mind, like, autonomy aside, if someone doesn't have kids, what you're actually asking is that someone else's kids take care of you when you're old. And that doesn't seem like quite right, because that's what they'll be forced to do, absent automation, is that someone else's kids will have to take care of you when you're old. And so I think, anyway, one way or another, we need to solve this birth rate issue, or civilization will dwindle to nothing.
Isn't that where AI comes in? It'll do all the jobs for us, so we can handle a potentially lower population, or what you're talking about.
I think there will be robot nannies that are very confident, so that will help.